Hello everyone and welcome to the Alfreton Town live watch along. We're here at Edgar Street for the match against Hereford, where we're not very welcome visitors if it's anything to go by the online forums. Once again we've been ripped to shreds online and called the party poopers as we come in, but that is with good reason because we're unbeaten in 10 meetings with Hereford, and the last defeat to Hereford was in December 2018, which is Billy Heath's first season in charge. So they'll be looking to break a pretty shaky streak. However, if it's going to be any day, the odds would be in their favour today. Alfreton have been on a pretty big slump recently, mainly picking up wins on the road, but either way it's not great. But in order to try and put an end to that streak, Billy Heath's been busy in the transfer market ahead of this game. 3 new signings, 2 of which go straight into the side, and all 3 are in the squad. We'll start with the new signings, which are we've got Luke Matheson, who is a full-back, is a short lad. When I looked at his online profile, which is not Billy's usual quota, we have a bit of a running joke about there being a height quota you have to hit to come in. He came through at Rochdale, made his debut for the first team at 15 years old, and amazingly at 16 scored his first goal against Manchester United in the EFL Cup to take it to penalties, which Rochdale will go on to lose. He's currently at Bolton, which is where he's come on loan from, and he had his most recent spell with Bohemians on loan. And it's worth mentioning as well, he's capped at under 18 level for England, 4 caps I believe, and 1 at under 17. The other new signing that goes straight into the starting 11 is Matthew Carson, who's a left back on loan from Grimsby. He spent 8 years at Liverpool's academy before being released at 14 years old and joining Burnley. He's made 9 appearances for Grimsby this season after joining from Reading in the summer. And the final signing, who is on the bench this afternoon, is Akil Francis, a striker who has scored 21 goals this season for Wakefield and Brighouse combined. And he played for North Ferriby and Guiseley in the National League North previously. That was way back in 2017 to 2019. He was at those 2 clubs. So they're the people who come in today. To mix it up a bit, you'll notice I'm on my own. No one wanted to be on here with me today. I've been dumped by Vaughan and I've been dumped by Quinton now. So it's just me today, which is incredibly difficult to do, to run this show on my own. I like having someone to throw to. I will do my very, very best. But we should be moments away, or a couple of minutes away from the team coming out. They've got a fantastic setup here at Hereford. I absolutely love being in this little box. It's warm. You'll notice how I don't have my big blue coat on for the first time in forever. They've got a little stand for the ball. The referee will take it off there as he walks out. And speaking of the referee, the last match he refereed for us was Spennymoor back in October in the league. And I have to specify it's the league because we played them so many times this season in every possible competition. Rumour has it we might draw them in the Derbyshire Senior Cup after getting them in the FA Cup and the FA Trophy. And obviously our last opponents on Tuesday night, there's been 4 changes from that 3-1 defeat to Spennymoor on the road, but I will come to them as the teams walk out. But yeah, that's where we are. Right, we're up in arms. We've got through all 3 signings, thanks to that Billy giving me such a short window to get through every signing possible. But we've got there. It's going to be a tough ask today, I think, to try and leave Hereford with all 3 points. They're a side in good form, and we're a side in not so great form. They've won 6 of the last 7, Hereford. And the only, I think, glimmer of hope we have is Paul Caddis is linked with National League side Filed. Is it Filed or Flied? Filed, right. Which could prove some distraction, but that's maybe grasping at a straw, to say the least.
Just while you're talking about Spennymoor, by the way, Matthew Carlson's got 1 National League North goal in his career for AT Telford in a loan spell against Spennymoor in 2022.
I think it's picked that up. I won't repeat it. I think it picks it up. I could hear it on my playback, which means it's picked it up. We also have a bit of a drop of the ball on the team sheet from the spelling. There's a certain Dwayne Diley starting today, which is obviously meant to be Dwayne Wiley, and I'm looking across to the main standing area for Hereford, and they're in good voice ahead of kickoff. But you would be if you'd won 6 of your last 7 games, right? Any danger of the teams coming out here, because I'm running out of material. I've nearly gone through everything, and I want to save some things for. Well, 20 people in before kickoff. Thank you everyone for tuning into the watch along. Feel free to throw any questions at me, because I'm going to be scrambling today. I've got no second opinion. I've got to try and get through everything on my own. So feel free to throw anything my way. But we're hoping today a couple of new signings, and I don't want to peak a bit too early, but I believe there's a change in formation. Looking at the starting 11, I believe Billy will be employing a kind of 3 centre halves, 5 back, 3 back. I think it'll be more of a 5 back. I think the aim with the formation change, with the possible formation change, just in case it isn't, but I am almost certain it is, will be to try and stop leaking goals. I think conceded 2 against Southport. We conceded even. Farsley, we conceded 1, and they're getting sunk by absolutely everyone they play. And then obviously 3 midweek, 2 last Saturday against Kidderminster. And to be honest, the defeat last Saturday to Kidderminster wasn't one of them where I thought we weren't good enough. I thought we were fine. We showed threat in parts, but we never looked like causing them any problems, and I don't think that was the case of the performance. I just thought it was the case of that they are so much better in terms of the quality and the depth they have. Here we go. Right, time to go through the teams. So for the host this afternoon is number 1, Theo Richardson. Number 2, Aaron Skinner, who scored the last-minute equaliser here last season, which was a superb strike from outside the box, which sunk us after we had a 3-0 lead, I want to say, or a 3-1 lead. 4 is Tate Campbell, 5 is Matt Preston, 8 is Alex Babos, who comes in. He wasn't in the squad for their last outing, which was a 3-2 win against Warrington, who are bottom of the league. 11, Jaden White, 18, Levi Ander, 20, Yusufu Cisse, 21, Dylan Mitchell, 28, Kyle Hawkins, and 29, Raymond Campbell, who also played for Ilkeston at one point. On the bench is 3, Lewis Hudson, 7, DJ Sturridge, 9, Jason Cowley, 10, Andy Williams, and 22, Declan McGlynn. And for Alfreton this afternoon, we have 13, Jake Askew in goal, 30, Matthew Carson, 31, Luke Matheson, 6, Dwayne Wiley, 5, Adam Anson, 25, Sam Osborne, 11, Lewis Salmon, 8, George Cantrell, 29, David Solademi, 14, Jed Abbey, and 24, Jerry McDonough. On the bench is 3, Max Hunt, 23, Nathan Newell, 35, Akil Francis, 4, Adam Lund, and 10, Liam Waldock. 4 changes for Billy Heath's side going into this game against Hereford, and you can see why I'm expecting the back 3 when you've got the combination of Wiley, Anson, and Solademi on. Solademi, when he was at Olive Church, did actually play on the left of a back 3. Since he's come into this Alfreton side, he has been playing on the left side of a back 4 in that left back position. It looks like today he's going to be playing in that kind of left centre half role with the 2 new loan signings, respectively playing on either wing back or full back. We don't know how high they're going to push up yet. I think it's going to be a midfield combination of Cantrell and Jed Abbey. in the middle, which I'm interested to see how that works, because I feel like that's quite an attacking midfield pairing when you're going to go with a 2 in midfield, and then the wide players will probably be Sam Osborne, Lewis Salmon, Jerry McDonough up front. Jerry put in a good striker's shift after coming on against Scarborough, after Jake Day picked up that ankle injury, which has kept him out the side ever since. Although not yet to get a goal since he had a run in the side due to that injury. But he nearly got one against Scarborough. It was poked in on the line by Adam Anson, who will tell you it's going wide. But we prepare for kickoff, I believe. Salmon is stood over the ball. I wouldn't say the centre circle because it doesn't look like there's much of one. It's a bit muddy, although I can't criticise their pitch with the state ours has been over the past couple of weeks. This is the second of a long run of away games, 4 away games on the bounce. This is the second of that run, as Lewis Salmon gets us underway and knocks it straight back to Anson, whose pass across doesn't have enough on it, and it's intercepted by Jaden White, who is wins a free kick. Sorry, I was going to say it looked like a throw-in, but it's a free kick. I've got that awkward phase of the game now. I have to look down at my team sheet while I learn the Hereford names. It's taken rather quickly by Richardson in the Hereford goal to switch it across. Yusuf Cisse playing out on the left, who I believe he was. He's a former Alfreton player, and causes a lot of problems in the early stages of this exact fixture last year. I remember Hereford started really strongly. I tell a lie, I think when I said 3-0, it was 3-1. They scored early on, and Yusuf Asife looked really bright in that, and I was really impressed with him. He's quite a big lad as well, as Hereford deploy a long throw into the box, and it bounces again. It falls across to White, who gets there ahead of Carson. The cross looks to go in. It's blocked, but it still finds a Hereford shirt. Swung clear by Osborne. Comes back in, but away again. Yusuf Asise now up against Matheson. Looks to run at him. He gets past. It's on his left foot. He clips it in, but he takes the deflection off the Loney's foot, Matheson, and into the hands of Jake Askew. It will take a minute. Compose his sides. Early pressure being applied here by Hereford. Good form when to use that momentum to try and get ahead early here, especially at home. Fans turn out in big numbers. Askew kicks it long, but Jerry McDonough can't quite hold it up. The second header's won by Jed Abbey, and he manages to pick up the second ball thanks to a little bit of help from Cantrell. It's moved out wide to Salmon now. Knocks it back to Matheson, who can't find Salmon again. He's dispossessed in that wide area, but he wins it back, intercepts a pass. Solidemi, who's ventured forward now, Jed Abbey in the middle, knocks it back to Solidemi, who gets the ball out to Carson, who's in acres of space on this left-hand side, and he whips the ball in. It loops, and it looked like Salmon could be getting on the end of it at the back post, but not quite enough swing on it, and it goes out for a goal kick to the hosts. But it's a promising look at what the new formation can do. The three at the back with those wide wing backs. Carson finding himself in plenty of space out on that far side, and just could take a touch, set himself, and then whip the ball into the box, giving Red Shirts a chance to attack the box while he goes up for the header, and it's knocked through, but Anson gets there before Cisse and manages to knock it out of the ground with his clearance. There we go. Oh, we need to. There we go. Apologies if the live stream dropped out there for a moment. I fear that may happen 2 or 3 times this afternoon. It's been doing it ever since I've come in, where I'll be on for a period of time and then I will no longer be on, and I've got to quickly reconnect it. But you've not missed much, as Salmon is shepherded out for goal kick. And it's got me all kerfuffled, this internet business. Nothing ever works. Did he? Alex Barros, former Alfreton player as well, I'm informed reliably. Who was actually, I think, when I watched him here last year, I was really impressed with him over the 90. Jerry McDonough tries to hold the ball up, but it's poked away by Matt Preston. We're looking at 3 changes for Hereford. Cantrell's going to be the one to take a throw in here for Alfreton deep into the Hereford half. Adam Lund sacrificed for the change of formation onto the bench. We lose that huge weapon into the box, but Cantrell is going to throw it short to Abbey and get it back. He looks to skip past Cisse, but it knocks off the wide player's foot and back out for another throw-in. Cantrell again. Hereford are setting up for the long throw-in, but I don't think they realise that it's not going to come in. Well, it was a really bright first kind of 2 minutes for Hereford where they started applying pressure really early. Since then, Alfred have managed to get a bit of a hold, and Anson had a bit of a hole on Campbell's shirt there as the referee blows for a free kick. There wasn't actually a challenge for the ball. Anson just using far too much of his hands to try and challenge for the ball there. And it came nowhere near them, and the referee didn't hesitate to blow his whistle for a free kick, and it's played short out wide to Cisse, who's up against Salmon and Matheson. He knocks it back to Babos, who looks to clip it into a dangerous area. Solidemi's up, and it's cleared away with the second ball by Wiley. Jerry McDonough looks to bring it down, and he's hoarded down to the ground by Dylan Mitchell, who just held a bit too much. Carson tries to take it quickly, and a Hereford player jumps in front of the ball. He doesn't kick it off him. The referee doesn't penalise him, but Alfred will take the chance to get forward, and Jake Askew will wander maybe 40 yards out of his box to take this free kick. He knocks it across towards Salmon, who goes up for a header. He isn't going to chase a second ball as it rolls out for a goal kick. I thought by the way that Salmon kind of let the ball run there, I thought he might have thought it was a corner, but he didn't appeal. Maybe it wasn't on for him to get there. Personally, I thought he could have ran onto that. Richardson with a pinged pass out to Ander on the left-hand side, and he tries to flick it on for Cisse, but he can't quite keep it in, and Matheson will have a throw-in. Ever since that initial kind of pressure from Hereford, it's been a bit of a slow game. It's quite a long throw from Matheson, and it finds its way to Salmon, who runs towards the line and slides across him, but the flag goes up from the linesman, who gives a goal kick. As it looked like Salmon might have just kept it in, but it's ruled to have gone fully over the line, and Hereford awarded another goal kick. He once again knocks a really impressive ball out wide to Jaden White, who goes back to his full-back, who makes a run inside, and he's galloping into space in the middle pretty freely. Jed Abbey comes in, puts a bit of a challenge, and he's forced to pass the ball into Anson. And Jerry McDonough's going to pick up the second. He looks to play it out wide to Salmon, but the pass is too far behind Lewis, and will roll out for a throw-in to the horse. Ander throws it down the line, and Matheson wins the first header. Cantrell, Solidemi now, who's wandered into the centre and looks to play a pink pass out wide to Sam Osborne, who gets there, and he's one-on-one with his man. He's going to run at him, gets it onto his right foot, skips past one player, gets onto the edge of the box and strikes, but he can't keep it down, and it's far, far away from troubling Theo Richardson in the Hereford goal. And Osborne given a bit of stick by the Hereford fans behind the goal for his effort. It was a good run as he kind of isolated Aaron Skinner, came onto his favoured right foot, skipped past another one who was arriving to put a challenge in, skips past them, opens his body out, tries the shot, but he can't get it anywhere near the target. But a promising spell of play nevertheless. A great ball out to Osborne by Solademi, as well as the goal kick comes along and Alfreton win possession back. Carson looks to play the ball down the left-hand channel, but no one's running it, and it's going to roll all the way down the pitch and out for another goal kick to the hosts. If you're just joining us now, we're 10 minutes into this matchup. It's currently 0-0. No major chances have came and gone just yet. Richardson goes long while he challenges, and Cantrell will pick up the second. While bouncing in the middle as Campbell looks to skip past Wiley in the centre. Wiley looks to knock it back to Carson, and Hereford nick it high up the pitch. The ball goes out for a Hereford throw, and they want a free kick. A late challenge from George Cantrell. Referee judged it to be fair. I'm not quite sure I'd agree with him. It looked a little bit late. Hereford have a throw in high up the pitch. Babos plays feet and back with Skinner. Looks to go back to Babos. It's a bit of a miscued pass. Dylan Mitchell will win a free kick from the challenge of Solademi, who marauded up quickly to put pressure. Hereford have a good opportunity to knock the ball into the box here. They've got some big players of their own to aim for. They also haven't been afraid to go short from these set pieces early on in this game, though. Swung in, headed up by Carson. Salmon goes up for the second. It's hung back up by a Hereford player, but while he heads it up, and it's headed wide by Jerry McDonough. I think they had time to bring that ball down early. They had space. Both of them opting to just head it further and further away from Askew's goal, as Ando takes another long throw down the line towards Campbell, but it bounces off him and falls to Matheson, who plays a good pass inwards to Jerry McDonough, who is hounded by a man on his back, who wins it off him. Campbell and Cisse look to play a quick 1-2, but the pass from Campbell back to Cisse was overhit and out for throwing too much power on it for Cisse to get on the end of it. As Matheson will take the throw in now down the dugout side. Throws it down towards. Right, apologies everyone. We had another internet mishaps there, but you've not missed anything. Just before the internet dropped out, there was a bit of a snapshot from Lewis Salmon down the right side. The ball was knocked over long by the Reds, found its way in behind the Hereford black line. Lewis Salmon chased it, found Richardson, who was coming to get there, nowhere near it, and he just took the volley first time, tried to beat him, but it was straight at the goalkeeper, who patted it down and then got a hold of it. It'll be grateful that didn't cause him more problems. He wandered quite far off his line, and if Salmon opted to just lift that over him, he could have found the back of the net, although it was a testing angle if he was to try and do that. Hereford now have a throw-in just in front of the away dugout. As Ando throws it down the line. Matheson wins the header. And the ball will go all the way out for an Alfreton throw-in down this side now as a Hereford should nick the second ball just ahead of Solademi, who seems to be adopting something of he's playing a bit higher than the other centre-halves. It's headed up and out by Anson. They look like there may be a bit of a misunderstanding about who the throw-in was. Alex Babos over the throw-in now. It looks like he must have an even longer one than Ando because they're crowding the keeper, and it goes in and drops to Jerry McDonough, who clears it long. Skinner's the furthest man back, and he'll knock it back to his goalkeeper as Osborne gives chase, and he plays a 1-2 with his goalkeeper as the Hereford applause the way those two played away from the press of Osborne. Skinner gives it to Andor. Babos back to Skinner. Drops out wide to Andor, who will opt to go back and play it across to his goalkeeper, who a drop right out, who looks to ping the ball down a channel, but Anson will intercept Skinner. Looks to play it out wide, but it's intercepted by Carson, and Jerry McDonough is the one out on the left. He'll have a chance to run, wins a throw-in. Carson will be the one to step up. How's my ankle doing? Thank you for asking. It's better. I'm back tomorrow. I'm back from injury. I'm playing tomorrow, and hopefully next week as well. Well, the throw-in's taken by Carson, but headed over by Jerry McDonough and into the hands of Richardson. Goalkeeper runs to the edge of the box, rolls it out and kicks it long off the floor towards Campbell, who's held by Anson. The referee getting some stick from the Hereford fans for not awarding the striker a free kick there. As play went on, Cantrell takes a long touch and it runs out for a throw-in, so Hereford will gain possession back regardless. Anson gets up for the long throw by Ander, and Jerry McDonough looks to bring it down. He can't quite get control of it under the challenge of Matt Preston, but Preston's pass goes straight out for another throw-in. I think the trend early on is in this game is the ball isn't staying in play very much. It's either out for a throw-in or a goal kick. Matheson tries to wander 15 yards further up the pitch from where the throw-in went out, but Caddis points out to the referee that he needs to be significantly further back. He still manages to gain maybe 10 yards from where it went out. It's knocked over by Sam and Jerry McDonough looking to chase, but it's cleared by Hereford. Carson will bring the ball down now, knock it back to Dwayne Wiley, who will just set it back for his goalkeeper, who has time to touch out of his box and set himself for a long quick kick towards Jerry McDonough. Hereford win the header, but it comes all the way through, once again straight back to Adam Anson, who plays out to Matheson. Out to Lewis Salmon, who looks to try and skip past Ando, but he has none of it. He tracks back in and puts in a really impressive challenge, and Matheson goes sliding in for the seconds and gives away a free kick. It looked to me to be a pretty fair challenge, but the referee disagrees, gives Ando and Hereford a free kick. And really interestingly, as I'm watching this game go on, is it actually doesn't look like a 5-back. It looks like the usual kind of 3 we would expect, with Solidemi kind of playing into midfield and tucking in. As the little free kick comes in, it's headed over. Cisse with an acrobatic cross, but it doesn't pose any threat and makes its way out for, once again, I'm going to say it, a goal kick. Jake Askew sets himself on the right side of his box to take this goal kick. Askew knocks it forward towards McDonough, who wins the initial header to flick it on, but the Hereford man's there to clear it, but the clearance is sliced, and Salmon and Cantrell will have a chance to bring it down. Cantrell nearly comes away with it. He's brought down, and the referee awards him a free kick for his troubles. It's Carson and Osborne stood over this free kick. It's in a deep crossing position, a chance to really float it in the area with a bit of swing as Osborne tries to clip it to the back post. It doesn't quite make it, but Anson will get there, who we worked out on Saturday was surprisingly quick from what we expected, as Jerry McDonough chases the second ball and it's sliced out for a throw-in for Alfreton by a Hereford man. Hereford once again, fine voice behind the goal. My favourite thing about this ground is the clock on the far side. I think it's a nice touch as Cantrell runs up to throw the ball in on that clock side. It was flicked on by Wiley and it looked to be dangerous, but it come off a Hereford man. Wiley went to pick up the seconds and a strong sliding challenge clears the ball all the way out for another throw-in. Cantrell once again will take the throw, and you can tell I'm running out of filler stuff as I'm talking about a clock. As the ball's whipped in by Carson, it comes out. Abbey looks to hang it back up, but he doesn't quite have the height on it, and Hereford will look to counter-attack, but Solademi does enough, and the ball goes to Carson, who knocks it down the channel. It's a great ball into Jerry McDonough, who goes down cheaply to try and win a free kick, and he's not going to get one as it's knocked over the top by Hereford, but Jake Askew out to meet it. Jerry McDonough can't challenge this first ball because he's offside, but Jed Abbey wins the second. Babos challenges Osborne, and Osborne with a fantastic first touch comes away with it and looks to run down the line, and he skips past Skinner, hangs it up at the back post. Salmon just can't quite get enough height on his jump to reach it, but he's going to keep the ball, get it out to Matheson, who's in space, who looks to knock it back. His touch just let him down there, Matheson, as it allowed Cisse to get out to him and do enough pressure. Matheson kicks it off him and wins a throw-in though. Really interesting. I was really expecting to see that 5 back, and it looked like we were gonna see it at the start as Solademi was tucked in, left of the 3, but he looks to be wandering into midfield more often than not. Osborne just slips as he goes to put a cross in, but Ando slips once again, straight away after, and Matheson hooks the ball down the line, but Osborne decides to leave it. He's in an offside position. The ball runs out for a goal kick. I'd love to do TV commentary for a change where I don't have to describe every little thing.
Well, you'd be better than Sam
No comment. Hutchinson goes long and Anson wins the header. Ando knocks it back forward, but Anson brings it down. He clips the ball over the top, but there was absolutely no one on planet Earth getting to that as it goes straight through to the goalkeeper, who knock it up to Jerry McDonough, but it bounces off him, and I've gone again. Oh my God. I have had enough. Emirates at here in. And we're back again. We've had another little internet mishap. Oh, nothing ever works, does it? I think that was the shortest one, though. You can tell I'm getting good at realising when it's happened and knocking it back up as Alfreton go along and Salmon gives chase, but Richardson comes out to meet it and scoops the ball over Salmon with an impressive flick to get the ball out wide. And Hereford continue to come forward with Ander, whose pass just doesn't quite make it to its man, and Salmon now has the ball out wide to Jed Abbey, who knocks it back to Anson, who looks to hang it up over the top, but he can't quite get what he wants onto the ball. And I'm realising just how hard it is to commentate on your own. Every time I want to breathe, but I can't because something's happening. As the ball is knocked across and Carson heads it out for a Hereford throw-in, and this would be prime Adam Lund territory. I like how I can say prime Adam Lund territory and everyone knows exactly where on the pitch the ball has gone out for a throw-in. There's just like a brief section of the pitch that is his territory for a throw-in, but it's a throw-in for Hereford. Well, it's headed up by Carson, who goes down, and Campbell tries the acrobatic effort, but it comes off the head of Solidemi, and the referee stops play to give some attention to Carson, who I think won that initial header but took some impact from behind as that happened. He won't need any treatment when he's back to his feet. He's going to carry on, I think, just in some discomfort. The referee's going to drop the ball back for Jake Askew. I think that's a favourable drop ball, considering every Hereford man pretty much was forward and in Alfreton's area. And instead of them having to deal with that pressure, you can just drop to Jake Askew, who can pick it up in his hands and send it long. Campbell wins the first header for the horse, and it comes out to Cisse, who tries to turn away, and Matheson puts in a really good lunging challenge to come away with the ball. It's not back to Wiley, who looks to go long and over the top with a left-footed switch. Richardson, I think that's one just to bring up quickly. I think there was a time last season where I was absolutely convinced Wayne Wiley was left-footed, and I think I mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, he's not left-footed, he's right-footed, and I was like, nah, I don't believe you, because he doesn't half have a switch on him on his left foot, and that was one there where it looked like it could make its way all the way out wide, but the keeper came and met it on the edge of his box right in that corner. Hereford with a bit of patient build-up play. It's intercepted by Carson, but it drops back to the horse. Alex Babos looks to set it now, but Solidemi with a strong challenge, winning the ball back for the horse, and it's knocked through the channel. And Jerry McDonough's going to put in a strong shoulder, and he's going to come away with the ball, but fairly. He's one-on-one with Campbell. He drops a little step over, gets it onto his left foot, and slips as he strikes the ball, and it goes into the hands of Richardson, but it made him think. But the kick from Richardson goes straight to Matheson. Jed Abbey can't get it under control. It'll be hung up by a Hereford defender. Abbey headed away by Campbell. Solidemi hangs it back up. It's headed down really well by Jerry McDonough with a bit of clever play. It comes out to Osborne. Hereford want the flag to go up for offside, but it doesn't go. Osborne now in the corner, one-on-one with Skinner. Knocks it back to Carson. Gets it on his left foot, looks to whip it in, but the cross is blocked and it'll make its way out for a corner. A really good spell here for Alfreton, really promising over the last couple minutes. That shoulder from Jerry McDonough out on that left channel just made his way out, and it looked like it was going to be no problem for Howkins to just kind of shepherd away, just get it under control and come away. But McDonough did enough fairly to knock him off balance and come away with the ball, and then he was one-on-one with the defender. Some neat footwork that you wouldn't expect from him to get it onto his left foot, and you just can't quite connect properly as the strike comes in. It's a set-piece routine as it goes along the floor to Jed Abbey, who knocks it back out to Osborne, who, it's one of them where, I don't know, it looked like he was going to shoot, but then it looked like it was a cross meant for someone to attack at the back post, but it was in that awkward area where no one can really attack the ball, because by the time it's at a point where someone can actually meet it, when it's at that height where you can meet the ball, it would have been at an impossible angle to turn it in, and it just runs out from a goal kick. Hereford goes short from the kick and play a couple of passes and then immediately play it long. Alfred under possession. It's a great knockoff from Jerry McDonough, who has had a really good spell in this last 5 minutes. It comes in low from Salmon. It comes back to Matheson, who tumbles down in the area. It's cleared away by Hereford, though. Solidemi picks up the seconds. It goes in. It's a really good challenge, strong challenge. Jed Abbey picks up the seconds. Salmon with 2 men on. I figured, yeah, I agree. I agree. I think if he misses that, he doesn't get the ball there, doesn't come away with it. He's almost straight into the book with it's a really strong challenge, but he gets all of the ball and just scoops it away from his man. A couple of jeers from the Hereford crowd, naturally, because it was a strong challenge on one of their players, but a fantastic tackle from Solidemi. But that's kind of been what he's done so far in this game. He's just providing that, a bit of an anchor in midfield, and his challenges have been strong and true. When he steps in for that ball, he's going in with 100%, and he's coming away with it. That's really interesting to see, because I was expecting to see a back three, but he's definitely sitting in like a deeper 6 role and he's providing excellent coverage in midfield. Fantastic versatility from the young defender, or defensive player we should say now, not defender, this midfield cameo, as Hereford go along with a throw in and Campbell brings it down. It's knocked over, it's knocked down by... it's go long, and it looked like Sam Osborne might be able to bring it down, but the bounce gets away with him. Headed down by Hereford, Skinner. Back across again to Mitchell, who gives it to Andor on the left side. Looks to knock it in again. Cisse, it's just passed to Andor. It's a bit of miscommunication. Andor wanted to overlap round him and have Cisse just flick it on for him. Cisse just wanted to set it to him. And the ball goes out for a throw. Matheson will have a chance to throw it, and if he does what he did on his last throw-in, I'm sure he'll steal a couple yards here. He's still coming, and yeah, he's way further than where the ball went out, but no one picked up on it this time. Campbell looks to knock it down to Babos with his chest, but Babos' touch is too heavy, and it goes to Matheson, who can knock it back to Jake Askew, who goes long, and he's in search of Jed Abbey, but it finds Campbell. It's headed on by the other Campbell. There's two. That was really confused me there. I thought I had something wrong when Campbell headed the ball to Campbell, but there is two. They're just on opposite ends of the pitch. Hopefully that won't happen too many more times, because I can imagine that can be quite confusing. But it goes long, and it's towards Andor down that side, and Lewis Salmon, who comes away with the ball, and he looks to flick it in between the gap, which would have been really clever. He goes down, which 50-50 whether it could have been a foul or not. The referee doesn't give it, and here come Hereford now on the counter-attack as the ball gets away from Carson. The play slowing down as Hereford look to try and find a way through. It's into the feet of Campbell, the striker Campbell, not the centre-back. As the ball comes long to Jerry McDonough, who is under challenge of Campbell, the centre-back. And Hereford demanding their team push further forward as they play some more link-up players. They come onto the edge of the box, and Dwayne Wiley puts in a really good challenge on, I believe it was Mitchell, to come away with it. But that was dangerous the way Hereford were able to just maraud forward into Alfreton's half and get to the edge of the area as Solidemi puts in a strong challenge on Skinner on the far side and knocks it out for a throw-in. Skinner has to jump the advertising boards to go collect the ball. Not got ball boys on that side. Never play it in, and Campbell goes down. I think he buys it, really. He went down in stages, and that's usually a sign that it's not a real drop to the ground. But the referee gives him the free kick regardless. That doesn't mean it's not a free kick, by the way, just because they'll go down easy. Sometimes it just helps sell it, confirm that you'll get that. And it's a chance for Hereford. Babos, who stood over it, and one other who I can't see the back of the shirt, so we'll never know who it is, stood over this. I tried to flick it to Babos. It's a neat set-piece routine as he gets in behind Osborne, and he tries to put the ball across. It's blocked by Osborne, though, and out for a corner. We've got no... what usually would be a good bit of filler for me in these moments, as I could usually mention if Borough were getting beat, but they've already ruined my weekend, so... As we await this Hereford corner. As the referee, you can't do this. I'm running out of stuff to say. I'm on my own, ref. How he's having a chat with Solidemi and Andor, I believe. Yeah, it is. As we await the corner once again. A couple of Hereford players peel off around to the back post, but it's won by Solidemi, and Cantrell's going to give chase to the seconds. He chases it all the way out, and he wins it. And here's a chance for Alfreton to come forward as Cantrell pokes it through towards... Who's picked that up? Who's picked up that yellow? He's got the card out, yeah. Oh, he's gonna whistle. Sorry, we dropped out again. Another mishap. I'm gonna have to mention it every time. As I dropped out there, Osborne was 1-on-1 with a Hereford man at the back. Well, there was 3 or 4 white shirts getting back, which means he couldn't cut onto his right. He tried to cut onto his left, just lost his footing. By the time he got up and tried to put his foot in, Richardson had picked it up. Hereford then quickly came on the counter-attack where they now have a free kick, probably 35 yards from goal, and Cantrell was booked for the challenge. But we approached. We've only dropped out 3 times in this first half. So hopefully that's not too bad. Nothing ever works easily though. Clipped across. Wiley can't quite get there, but it's gone to absolutely no one, and Abbey will get there and clear it along, but it's out for a throw-in. Under now. Going to take the throw, and he's going to look long down the line. You've got Cisse and Campbell as targets, who have drifted wide for the throw-in. Thrown, Matheson up. It falls back to a Hereford man. Matheson gets his body in the way and looks to clear. It's intercepted and out for an Alfreton throw-in. Intercepted is the wrong word there. It's kind of blocked his clearance. Down the line by Matheson. And it comes almost immediately back to him after a couple of 50-50 duels in the air. And he knocks it over the top straight through to Richardson. Towards Cisse, headed down by Matheson, and will make its way through. Wiley tries to knock it back to Askew with his head, but he misses it, but luckily his head wasn't needed to get it back, and Askew can claim. As his kick goes long, Osborne goes down. Referee not going to award anything though, as Cantrell wins a header in the middle, and Jadabi will have a chance to drive out wide now as he comes out onto the right. Salmon's tucked in. Abbey looks to cross it on his right foot, and a deflection which sends it towards the front post, cause the keeper a moment where he jumped after it, but it'll be an Alfreton corner as the ball comes off a Hereford shirt from Abbey's cross. Osborne will line up to take this corner, an outswinger on the right side. He goes short to Abbey, he tries to knock it back to him, but he gets too much height on it. Goes out for a throw-in. They throw it backwards to Ander, and a look to play out now. Campbell looks to play it across to Skinner, who has a bit of green grass to run into down this right-hand side. Looks to clip it over the top towards his winger, but it's intercepted by Carson, who brings it down and pretty much delivers the same ball back to Hereford. Richardson sends it long again. Brought down by Wiley, away by Solidemi. Jerry McDonough's going to have a chance to chase, but Richardson comes well out of his box to meet it and send it long, and Cisse looks to bring it down. Matheson does enough, and Abbey knocks it out wide to Osborne, who's come out onto this right-hand side now. He's up against Ander, who looks to drive down. I think he's held a little bit, but he's kept possession, and he gives it back to Matheson, back to Osborne, who looks to poke it through. Block from Cisse will send it out for a throw-in for Alfreton. Matheson with the ball in his hands now to take this throw, and I'm sure once again we'll look to go short. We're still playing the bluff of people crowding into the area. It's headed in. It's flicked on by Solidemi, and it falls to Jadabi, who swings a foot at it, but he doesn't quite go through. It comes to Dwayne Wiley, who strikes a ferocious shot into a Hereford body as Matheson looks to run down the line but trips over. There's a bit of a slapstick comedy moment as he drops to the ground and he's jeered by the Hereford fans. 42 minutes into the match so far, still 0-0 if you're only just joining us, but Alfreton bearing the fruit of the real chances in this first half. There's not been a key moment really for Hereford in the 18-yard area for definite. They've shown threat and come forward, but that's a foul as Salmon kind of jumps in to Howkins as Hereford play quick and look to come down the right-hand side with White. Just sets it back with a little 1-2. He comes back again, looks to go. He trips and Cantrell. He could get. I was surprised he's not gonna get into trouble. Like, Cantrell steps up and he looks to have been tripped over, and as he goes to ground, he grabs the ball with his hands to say, yeah, that's, sometimes players do that and they get a free kick when they jump on top of the ball and hold it with their hands after the field has been fouled. The referee takes a second and blows and gives Hereford a free kick for handball. Yeah, I was surprised he didn't get into. I think if he wasn't on a booking, that would have been a booking. To be honest, I've seen him given. However, I think as we look at this set piece, Baba stood over it again for Hereford. It's one of them where it's going to have to be a spectacular effort. Although they play it out wide, short to Cisse, gets it onto his right foot. Ando hops over it and Salmon gives chase. It's out to Ando again, plays the outside of the foot pass down towards Cisse, who is judged to have fouled Lewis Salmon. I think a bit of the dark arts there for Salmon as he goes down, as he feels the contact from Cisse on his back and gets a free kick inside his own box. And if the referee looks past that and doesn't give it, I think we're going to be in some real trouble. But Salmon would have been in trouble regardless if he stayed on his feet. Referee sending Jake Askew back because he was literally on the edge of his 18-yard box when he needed to be, almost on the byline. And he still managed to get halfway out of his box. Dark Arts FC. Maybe this is why we're unwelcome visitors in Hereford. So he knocks it down the line, flicked on by McDonagh towards Salmon, who's has a free kick given against him. I think for holding the shirt of Ander as he goes down. Waiting to see the fourth official's board light up as we've hit the 45th minute on the big board. Any danger, fourth? He's not gone up. Keep an eye out for that board to go up as Hereford are just playing around at the back. The board does go up. 1 minute added on in this first half. Ball sent long and Matheson will win that header. Cisse looks to bring it down. It's a galloping scissor kick from Campbell to send it long again. As Cisse picks the ball up out on the left, Salmon tracking back and puts in a good challenge to prevent the cross providing any danger as it's cleared away by Anson, but it's got nowhere near enough on it to reach Jerry McDonagh. Hereford come forward again, Ander looking to switch it and Carson just looking to cushion the header back to his goalkeeper. But the referee's blown for half time, much to the dismay of the Hereford fans. It was an opportunity for them to put the ball into the box one more time before the half. The referee blows. There's a couple of white shirts crowding around the referee to protest the decision to blow for half time after that. After Carson just headed the ball out. I'm not quite sure a whole minute had been played there, but it had. Oh, well, yeah, that's true. The board did go up about 30 seconds after, so... Well, that's that. So that's the first half of action. 0-0 after 45. I think the major talking point is that Lewis Salmon left-footed strike that looked to have some major whip on it, but it just couldn't quite hit the target. But if it was an inch or two lower, I don't think Richardson in the Hereford goal would have even moved for it, because it was hit with some real venom. But Alfreton have nearly caught Hereford on the counter-attack once or twice. Right, there we are. I dropped out during my recap. I was just saying it was a case of players not being able to get the foot in at the right time and just the slight thing going wrong. But I think that was a real positive first half, to be honest. All things considered, when you take into account Hereford's good form coming into this fixture and Alfreton's not so great form coming into this fixture. So, as always, I'm going to take a much needed and well-deserved break at half-time. And I'll be back to bring all of the action, or as much of the second half action as I can, on my own. But thank you everyone for tuning in to this first half. I hope to see you in the second. There we are. And we have to refresh the stream. There we go. I'm back. I'm back. Everything died while I was gone, but luckily I'm a technical wizard and I've got us up and running again just in time for the second half. Give people a chance to come back in for the second as Hereford get us underway for the second half as the sun starts to set here at Edkin Street. Alfreton in this half shooting at the Matalan side of the ground. As Hereford come forward early in this half as Skinner whips a ball in, but it's headed away by Wiley. Hung up by Hereford, and it's brought down by Campbell, but he's penalised for a foul on Solidemi. You'll notice it wasn't as warm in here as I once thought, as I've reverted back to the big blue coat for the second half, because I got a little bit chilly. Askew goes long from his kick towards McDonough, who flicks it on. Knocked away by Hawkins, and a chance for the host to come forward with White, but he's dispossessed by Carson, who knocks a really neat ball down the channel towards Osborne, but it's put into touch by Hawkins, and Alfreton will have a throw-in. Carson the one to take. Carson had wandered a couple of yards forward, and a couple of cheers from the Hereford fan gets him back. And as he tries to wander forward again, the referee just decides to give Hereford the throw-in. For Carson being a bit too cheeky. I didn't know that was in the rule book. You learn something new every day. Although it won't be useful next year when they change it. Hereford have a throw in here taken quickly by Skinner. Down to White, who gives it back, but he can't keep it in touch, and it's going to be a throw in for Alfreton this time in more or less the same position. Hereford just took theirs. If you're just joining us again, don't worry, you've not missed much. We're only 3 minutes into the second half, and next to nothing has happened. The ball has been out of play for pretty much the whole half. Carson gives it back to Askew, who sends it long towards Jerry, but Hawkins wins it, and then it's hooked clear, but Wiley will head it back forwards. Babas will head it back, and Campbell will manage to get it down with a header to White, who gets it across to Cisse, who comes in onto his right foot, lays it. A couple of neat passes and a chance to strike from distance by Hereford, but up and over the bar, never troubled Jake Askew. The effort coming in from Dylan Mitchell, who found himself in some space. He had the ball there once and opted to pass, but the Hereford fans were egging him on to shoot. He got the ball back, and well, he didn't take much convincing the second time. Got out of his feet and struck the ball towards goal, but up and over the bar. Askew sending the ball long again towards Jerry McDonough, who manages to get it down for Abbey, but it's hooked away by Matt Preston. And Ander will get it out wide to White. Comes inside. And it's a driving run forward, and Cisse will get out of his feet and have an effort, but the referee gives a free kick to Alfreton on the edge. Jack Askew comes charging out of his box to have a word with the referee about something. I'm not quite sure what it was, but it was a marauding run inside from Dylan Mitchell. Found himself on the edge, tried to get it to Cisse, who just knocked out of his feet and tried to have a go. Referee telling Askew to hurry up as he was going to collect the ball for his goal kick. I don't think we've seen one of them this afternoon. If you read the match report midweek, it might just say there were goal kicks, because there's been a lot of them. I'm sick of saying it. I feel like a broken record. As Askew sends his kick long, it's kind of brought down by Lewis Salmon using his back as it falls to Jerabi, who looks for an overlap in Matheson, who doesn't give up on it, but not quite enough to get round the presence of the big Ander, who shepherds the ball out, and Richardson takes it quick as he knocks the ball long towards White, but Carson happy to let the ball run out for an Alfreton throw-in. That might be the other thing I'll put in there. There were goal kicks and throw-ins. And at some point, George Cantrell got a yellow card. You don't even have to put it in anymore. It's inferred, isn't it? Well, Alfreton have played a game of football. George Cantrell must have got a booking. As Salmon gets the ball out in a wide area, Cisse chase him. He looks to step away, as it looked like Cisse might have tripped him, but the ball will run out. Cisse was happy to let it run out for a throw-in, but the linesman on that side awards the throw-in. Matheson with the ball ready to throw it in. He's got no short option. He might actually have to try and throw it into the area as he does. It's not a bad effort, to be fair, is it? He's headed back out to him, and he'll get another throw in slightly further up the pitch. Watching the 52. Matheson throws in Solidemi up, but it's headed away by Hereford, but it's going to drop to Carson, who just tried to cushion it down, but a bit of miscommunication from the fullbacks, who were kind of colliding in the middle there. And the ball goes out for a throw-in. We wait in anticipation, because there's options on the bench. You know, you bring on Lundy, you bring on that threat of the long throw. We've got Newell, who can, you know, we've seen him. He's got a wicked cross on him. Liam Waldock, who's, you know, been something of a shining star over the past 2 seasons. You know, when he hits a hot streak of form, he can be unstoppable. And obviously, Max Hunt, absolute presence at the back. Akil Francis, the new signing. We've got a full option of 5 players there on the bench who all offer something different, unique, that could change this game. We approach the hour mark. It'll be the kind of window where some managers opt to make their first change. You know, Hereford's last game on Tuesday against Warrington, they made a double substitution about that hour mark, so could be Paul Caddis to move first, but Alfreton come away with the ball here as Salmon gives the ball to an overlapping Carson, who whips it on his left foot. Jerry McDonough tries to knock it down, but he just takes all the pace off the ball, and it doesn't quite reach Osborne. Matheson steps up, but Cisse with a lunging challenge manages to scoop the ball away from him. Solidemi with fantastic defensive work, though, to stop the Hereford from charging forward. Matheson, who'd, you know, gone to try and step forward in front, looked like he was going to get the ball ahead of Cisse. Cisse just using his large body to come away with it, and looked like Hereford might have the numbers advantage. Solidemi with a really good challenge in the middle there, and Osborne charging through the middle. He's gone past 3 players. He gets into the box and he strikes. It looks like it may have taken a touch off the glove of Richardson, but the referee awards a goal kick. But Osborne travelling really far with that ball, picking it up maybe 5 yards, 10 yards inside the Hereford 5, and he just ran and ran, and he kept coming, and he just finds those gaps. He keeps the ball close to his feet, and he runs into those gaps, and he attacks them. Got onto the edge of the box, and he took his chance to shoot, and it just travelled up and over the bar, but really impressive run. The ball from Richardson makes his way all the way over, but Solademi once again deals with the danger and manages to prevent it from going out for a corner as well. Gets out for a throw-in. As we await the throw-in, I believe. I was going to say White's taking it, but he's not even in the box. Side. Come on. The stream needs to come back on. Janabi into the box, strikes. Straight to Richardson. Got rid of a massive technical mishap just as Janabi was about to get a strike. I wanted him to score, but that would have been awkward to come back as the ball hit the back of the net. Just as we dropped out there was a penalty shout for Hereford as Jerry McDonald went to clear the ball from a long throw-in, and Skinner just nicked in front of him and kind of booted Skinner. Instead, the referee chose that it wasn't, worth giving a penalty. And then Alfreton come up the other end after winning the ball back. Osborne with a neat little ball roll and flick with the outside of his foot to get away from his man. Played a really good ball to Jerry McDonough, who had space in behind down the right-hand channel, was onside, came in on his left foot, but tried to beat the goalkeeper at his near post, and it never caused too much trouble for Richardson. But interesting that the penalty shout there for Hereford was almost similar to the penalty given against Hereford, as Hereford put a ball into the box, but it's headed away. Janabi flicks away Solademi. Salmon, Carson, up towards Jerry McDonough, who does well to get out wide to Salmon, who has a chance to drive down this left-hand side. It's a good challenge from the centre-half, Hawkins, who came across to put in a sliding challenge. No, they didn't miss a pen. There was a penalty shout for Hereford. They felt they should have had a penalty after Jerry McDonough kind of kicked Skinner in the box, but the referee didn't give it, and then Alfreton nearly went up the other end and scored from the counter-attack as a consequence. Janabi knocks the ball up towards Salmon. He's got quite a leap on him, Salmon. He's not the biggest. I'm saving that for if he scores a header.
Oh, fair enough.
I can't waste it on him here, 50-50.
No.
Richardson with the ball now for Hereford, who knocks it high and long, and it's easily headed away by Solademi, but Osborne comes tumbling in clumsily for a challenge. Oh. And it gives away a free kick. It's Cisse now, who comes inside of Matheson with pace, and he strikes, and it takes a deflection and finds its way into the back of the net. Hereford lead 1-0 here at Edgar Street. A fantastic run from Cisse as he just powered his way past Matheson with pace, got his arm across him, found his way into the box, strike. I think it was a sliding challenge to try and block the effort by a player in red, and it just comes off the bottom of him, and the bounce takes it over Askew. But the former Alfreton man, Cisse, strikes blood first as he's hailed by the Hereford fans behind the goal for his goal. It was a really impressive run. A turn of pace we've not quite seen from him all afternoon, and once he kind of got across, once he got that arm across Matheson, he was never going to be able to stop him without bringing him down. His effort, it looked like it wasn't going to trouble Askew. It was low, but the deflection it took just brought it up and over Askew. And now that's 1-0 to the hosts, right on the hour mark. Simon flicks it on, and it's one of them where I have to say it's Hereford's first real chance of this game. It's the first time they've come forward and actually had a shot at Jake Askew's net, and it's an unfortunate deflection that takes it in. But like I say, Alfreton have bore the fruit of the most chances, but that was by far the best chance of the game. Alfreton making lots of little chances, but making none of them count. And Hereford snatching the first big moment of the game and really taking charge as they once again come in. It's a fantastic ball over the top by Jerabi though. And Osborne's now out on the right. He's up against Ander. He's got a lot of white shirts in front of him, but he does well. He tries to come round Ander and Cisse, but they're two big presents and they just hound him away from the ball. However, the referee pauses play as Osborne holds his face. He'll have to go off, I believe, if he's stopping the game for a head injury. However, he's up. He's going to carry on. It doesn't look like he has to go off. I thought that was the rule. Richardson gets the drop ball from the referee. Well, this would continue Hereford's rich vein of form to 7 wins in 8. Would be a 3rd straight defeat on the bounce for Alfreton. Swept in by Ander and away by Wiley. Osborne does well, really well to get away from his men, and he's got the ball in space in the middle, and he comes away and he gets a free kick. I think the hand was used there by Dylan Mitchell as he came and put the challenge in, as looked like Osborne was just going to skip past. Carson over the ball now. Clipped in by Carson. It's far too much on it, and no player in red had a chance of getting there. And Richardson will have another goal kick. I think we're getting into that territory now where the manager's going to start thinking about looking to the bench, looking at changes. Waldock's out there warming up with Francis and Newell. There's one out on the touchline for Hereford as well. Wiley wins the header, up by Skinner. Osborne with a fantastic first touch to come away, and he finds Jerabi, who does really well to hold it up, and he gets it out to Matheson, who's got space down this right-hand side to run. He's ahead of Ander, and he hungs it up towards the back post. Salmon's up, but his header straight at the hands of Richardson, who'll claim it in his grasp, but be thankful that it wasn't headed further down or towards a corner. Firmly had his body behind that as he sends the kick long. Dwayne Wiley is up for it, and his free kick's awarded against him as Campbell challenges up in the air, but I think he went up with his arm in the air. It's taking a touch off his forearm before anything else. Cantrell flicks a header on towards McDonough, but it goes out for a corner despite Hawkins' best efforts to keep it in. Adam Lund out there warming up now as well, as he puts the ball on the spot for his on-field teammate Osborne. Osborne opts to put it down himself anyway. So we hit the 65-minute mark. If you're just joining us, Hereford lead 1-0 through former Red Cisse. Whipped in by Osborne, and it was up towards Salmon at the back post, but fantastic goalkeeping from Richardson to come to the edge of his 6-yard box and claim that corner. Just relieving his team of the pressure. Sends the kick long out of his hands and up towards Campbell, but Wiley does enough. Jadabi holds it up and looks to flick it around the corner for Solidemi, but the referee judged that Abbey was fouled as he was being held. Askew sends the kick up long, but it looks to have too much on it. Richard comes to claim it. He fumbles, but he manages to jump on top of the second ball before anyone can capitalise. Towards Dwayne Wiley challenges with a header. It's knocked on by Salmon, but Jerry McDonough's still coming from an offside position, which, not to be harsh, but he's a bit... He shouldn't be coming from an offside position there. He's had plenty of time to get himself back on the side. Basically means he had to let Hereford head the ball, just let them have possession back without any challenge. It's headed away by Matheson towards Abbey, who looks to head away, and he gives away a free kick as he puts his body across, and for me, White goes down easily. But he gets the free kick regardless, and it's in a good area to whip it into the box. For me now, if I was Billy Heath, I'd be looking towards my subs bench. You know, we're coming down to the final 22 or so minutes of normal time. As the cross comes in towards the back post, it's headed across the box, and it's going to fall. Oh, it's an absolute scramble in the area, and eventually Hereford get a corner. It's an absolute scrambling there. It was headed like across the box after it was swung in. And there was a bit of a... Ball's whipped in. It's headed away and cleared by Wiley. I forgot to mention we just had another internet thing drop. I disappeared. As Hereford have a throw in, Babos going over to take. Running by Babos and headed away. But it makes its way back out to the throw in taker, who hangs the ball up in the box, and Wiley will get up, but it goes back to Babos once again. Although Carson's going to happily see this one out. So it's flicked on. Use of the hand there from Skinner. The referee doesn't give it Alfreton retain possession regardless, with Osborne out on the right who looks to get away from Ander. Who does really well to keep hold of the ball. And he still has it as he gets away from Cece. He looks to knock it through the channel to Jed Abbey, who gets there, flashes it across goal, but no one there at the back post as Richardson gets a strong hand on it to guide it away from Lewis Salmon, but it's out to Carson. Alfreton will have a chance to sustain this pressure. Solidemi looks to lock it through the channel. Salmon's offside and he has to let it run all the way through. For me, it just doesn't make sense. I think you just try and get away with it there if you're Salmon. If he gives a free kick, it gets added on to the added time. Now we have to, Richardson can come, take his time, wait for someone to close him down. He kicks out his hands towards Campbell. Wiley heads it back to Jake Askew, who picks it up. And Wiley goes down in some discomfort. Well, we're seeing a substitution as Jerry McDonough goes off and on comes new signing, Akil Francis. I think it was about time for a change of personnel up top. We're coming down. It's probably just enough time to maybe have a say in this game for Akil Francis. He's been having a say all season long at the other clubs he's played for this year, with an impressive 21 goals across 2 teams, across 2 leagues as well. He's made the step up. He'll want to continue that kind of goal-scoring form. It's thrown down the line by Ander. Headed on by Campbell, but only to Wiley. And it's poked through to Cisse, the goal scorer, who puts it across towards White. It's cleared away by Carson, but it's back to Cisse, and Carson's down in discomfort following the kind of sliding effort from White as he cleared it. Good. And Carson's back up, and Hereford will resume play with a throw-in on the far side in the corner. Kicked away by Wiley. White gets it down. It's fallen to the number 4, Tate Campbell, who had a strike at goal, but straight at Jake Askew. Sent away by Askew, flicked on well by Francis to Osborne, who showed a little bit of neat feet, but the ball seemed to just run away from him at the end of that little shuffle. Just waiting for Richardson to take a goal kick. Richardson sends it long. Headed away by Wiley. Hereford still sustaining pressure with the lead. Out Skinner looks to play it down the line. Carson does enough to knock it out for a throw into the hosts. Skinner throws it short. White turns and gives him it back, and he's got a chance to whip this in, and he does. It's away by Wiley. Headed on by Abbey. Cisse with a good turn, and he's up against Matheson. Takes it onto his left foot. He gets it across, but it's all the way across and away by Salmon. But Jed Abbey just tees it up for a man in white, and the shot deflected out for a corner. It was a little bit too... it was definitely overplaying the ball. The ball came from him on the edge, and he just tried to like lay the ball off for someone to clear in his own box, and it didn't. Spoiler: it didn't go to a red player. It went to a white player who had a chance to have a go. Their deflected effort results in a corner, and although Hereford lead and Alfreton need a goal, Hereford are totally in control of this late stage of the game. As Bavos puts the corner in. There's shouts for a penalty. Howkins swings a foot at and misses it at the bouncing ball. Comes back out to Babos. Francis is going to give chase. And it's a strike. It comes off George Cantrell in the box. Salmon looks to come inside. Francis brings it down. Can't quite keep control of it. He looked like there might have been a pull, but the ball comes into the area and it goes right across Askew's box and will dribble out for a goal kick, but a moment of danger as Billy Heathrow readies his second change of the afternoon, as it's Lewis Salmon to come off for Nathan Newell, who must be assuming the left wing position. It's sent along and it's come straight back after Askew's kick, but Hansen heads it back into the hands of Askew. The referee will pause play for a player down with an injury. The referee says he's happy to play from Askew. Bear with a second, I'm going to stand up. Apologies, I need to pull my trousers up. Well, they can see. Referee going to drop the ball back to Askew, who volleys it long first time, didn't take any time to get the ball under control towards Osborne. Can't get it under control and it'll go out for a throw-in. Thrown down the line. Headed back, brought down by Osborne. Back to Wiley, who doesn't go with a safe option to go home. He turns and plays a fantastic switch out to Nathan Newell, who has a chance to run at Skinner, and he will. Onto his left foot, he looks to cross it. It's blocked by Skinner, and Newell happy to watch that ball go out for a throw-in. 10 minutes on the clock, and Hereford still leading by a goal to nil through Cisse. Can Alfreton get one more big chance in this final stage of the game? Can they continue their unbeaten streak against Hereford, or will Hereford break that nasty, nasty record against Alfreton? I think the offside's given there. I did look, I did think for half a second maybe it was offside. Richardson kicks it long down the line. It's White now to drive forward. He does a fantastic roulette spin inside, and is brought down almost immediately by Cantrell, and the shouts from Hereford fans for Cantrell to see an early exit to this match. The referee isn't going to grant their wishes, but he will grant them a free kick in a really dangerous area to swing it into the box. Whipped in by Babos and headed towards goal, and that'll be it. It's the icing on the cake for Hereford. The header goes in. It's Cisse again with his second. A fantastic header. We knew that would be a dangerous area when they were granted the free kick. Just lifted into the box. Cisse gets ahead of everyone at the front post and just turns it into the bottom corner. Oh, it's Tate Campbell, sorry, my apologies. It looked like Cisse from where I was, but Tate Campbell adds the second for Hereford, and I think it's fair to say the nasty streak against Alfreton for the hosts will come to an end. The curse will be listed as Adam Lund enters the pitch for Cantrell, who must have been on his last warning. This will be a real boost for the hosts, who've been on fantastic form lately. But when you play one of those bogey teams, one of those sides that always just seem to come and get a result, you can never seem to get a win against. Well, the 2-0 win and a clean sheet would be fantastic, and it's not over yet. Could there be a chance for a late turnaround for the Reds? Most people would tell you probably not, but we say forever optimistic as the ball's played through by Solidemi to Akil Francis, who's dispossessed by Hawkins, and Hereford will come forward, and they've just got so much space in that middle area now. Alfreton committing men forward. Cisse plays it into Babos. Could there be a third? It's hung up at the back post and it's over White. And Abbey will get it out to Newell, who looks for Francis down the line. Hawkins will knock it out a touch for a throw-in. Referee sending Adam Lund a couple of yards further back on this throw-in. He sends the throw down towards Francis. It's headed away by Skinner. Campbell knocks it down into a little space for a Hereford teammate who wins. It's White who wins the free kick under the push of Carson. Well, after the second one's gone in, the viewer count is substantially dropped, so not many Reds expecting a comeback in the late stages of this game. Although nothing's impossible.
Man United did it at Goodison Park. 2-0 down.
Richardson sends it across, but Matheson heads it away. Hung up again. All the way into the box, and Askew will not have to wander far to come and collect that one in his hands. As he sends it long towards Akil Francis again. Askew sends it up towards Osborne, but headed away by Ander. And the ball perfectly bounces over a gate and through a little doorway. another change for Billy Heath as he withdraws Jed Abbey for Liam Waldock. It's 4 of his 5 substitutes now on the pitch. Lund throws it down the line. Campbell brings it down on the halfway, comes in deep, and he sends the ball over the top, and White is one-on-one with Askew, and he can't quite get it under control. Wiley gets across, and it will bobble into the hands of Askew. That could have been a third, that should have been a third for the hosts. Clip down the line, Francis is going to chase it. Goes out for a throw-in down this side, and Hereford are going to employ their own substitution as Campbell makes his way off. And it's the number 9, Jason Cowley, who'll make his way on. They're also bringing on Andy Williams. Trying to see who's coming off for Williams. It looks like Campbell. Take Campbell, be making your way for Williams. Who scored the second in the cherry topper. Makes way for the number 10, Andy Williams. Forward into the box by Adam Lund. Wiley manages to flick it on. It falls for Babos. Francis nearly swings a leg at it first. Newell going to be the first one to get to the ball, and it's going to be another throw-in for Alfreton. 2 minutes left on the normal clock, and Lundy sprints across the pitch to throw the ball back into the area with his long throw. It goes in. It falls to Waldock on the edge, and a deflected effort, just very easy for Richardson to move across his goal and collect. Sent forward by Askew. All the way back to Solidemi, who gives it to Matheson. Lund down to Solidemi, who is nicked in front of by Ander, but he knocks out for a throw-in. And Lundy will have a chance to launch it back in. I mean, if there's going to be any chance of salvaging anything, it's got to be now, and then it's got to be straight after. As Lund throws it in, Richardson comes to collect and picks it up with relative ease, and despite it being a positive first half performance from Alfred, I think if there was ever any way to sum up the second, it would be the same as that, relative ease. Hereford get both their goals. They've been very dominant in the second half when it comes to possession and just keeping on top of Alfred. And there was that one kind of chance from Osborne where he travelled really far with the ball, almost the halfway line. As the board goes up, 5 minutes added on of additional time. Ball goes back to Richardson, and well, one more change as it's Lewis Hudson to come on for. Who did he even come on for? I'll give up. Lund throws it down the line. Heel Francis looks to kind of flick it on directly behind him. Waldock can't get there, and Hereford will clear, and it'll come out to Jason Cowley, who gets past Wiley, puts the cross in, but it's into the hands of Jake Askew, who's going to look to send it out into this wide area towards Nathan Newell, who braces himself for impact, and the ball bounces and goes past him. Williams looks to come away with it, but it goes to Anson, who's going to be able to knock it up. Hereford come away with it. And it's out wide to the substitute Cowley, who knocks it through the channel. It's kept in by Mitchell. Gives it back to Cowley, and Hereford just playing the ball around with themselves as Lund looks to try and get it off Cowley, but Cowley skips past. Babos. Cisse. Still Cisse. Tries to poke it. Lundy gets it. Francis tries to get his body in front. He misses it, but the referee pulls it back for a foul on Adam Lund. And probably the final change of the game. Cisse is going to come off DJ Sturridge. Knocked forward by Askew. It falls to Lund, who will get a free kick in an area of danger. So we should be in about the final minute and a half of added on time. Well, it's Osborne, the one stood over. As well as Carson. I think Osborne will be the one to take it though. Oh, Carson steps up and tries to rattle one with power, but over the bar, and Ridson was happy to see it go over. Posed no real threat to him, as that will probably be the final action, the final notable action of this matchup. As I'm watching the clock, there's about 10 seconds left on it. I won't be surprised to see the referee blow the next time the ball went out. It's knocked down the line by Ander, and Wiley's going to try and get it away, and it's going to go into the hands of Askew. The referee continues to play as Askew sends it long. Francis comes over to challenge, and the referee blows for a free kick against Francis. Hereford will have a chance to knock it up once again. And the referee doesn't give them a chance to take it, as Hereford end a bitter run of form against Alfreton, but Alfreton's bitter run of form currently will continue. It was a really positive first half display, in all honesty. It was one of them where we looked like the team that if anyone was going to get a goal. There weren't great chances. I'm not saying there were the chances anyone should have scored. There wasn't, any major misses. But we were just chipping. We were just chipping away and knocking on the door and asking questions. And we've come out in that second half, and we've been silent. We haven't asked any questions of Hereford. I've coasted through that second half with these and picked up 2 goals, which are avoidable goals, and I'm sure Billy will say that. And we've never really challenged them properly, and that was the case. We looked like we were chipping away and we were holding them at a stalemate, but in that second half it was just boys against men for me. It was just a bit too easy for our horse, but nevertheless we go again. We remain forever optimistic as we take the long journey up to South Shields on Tuesday evening. I doubt I'll be at that one. I have uni until 5 o'clock. I'm not making the bus. But thank you everyone for tuning in to this watch along. I apologise, I've had to do it on my own. I've struggled to do, and I'm really I've lost the words. Anyway, thank you anyway for listening to me ramble for 2 hours ish, and hopefully the boys will regroup and go again Tuesday evening and start putting some points on the board. Thank you for watching, and we'll